Morgan, registered dietitian, vegan here for, oh gosh, about 10 years. And if I know a thing or two about nutrition, it is true. And today we're going to talk to you about, and I want to say we, I really mean me, my little guy, about magnesium supplements, particularly this natural calm supplement. So magnesium supplements can be really helpful to take before bed, as it is a muscle relaxer, and so it kind of just helps to, drift off into sleep and kind of act as that literal muscle relaxer as you are getting ready to wind things down for your day. And the important thing too to keep in mind is that most Americans do not consume enough magnesium. Magnesium can be found in whole grains and a lot of deep green leafy vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Now, even though it can be found in a wide variety of food, the amount of magnesium in each of those foods is really quite small, and so I find that for many people a supplement can be beneficial, particularly for those of you that are pregnant or breastfeeding, because magnesium is also needed for brain development, and it is kind of part of those neuron and those transmitters. And also, magnesium is really helpful and is used a lot for aiding in constipation, which is again something that pregnancy and breastfeeding can bring on. Or, just if you're not eating enough fiber, sometimes having regular magnesium to keep things moving can be helpful. So when magnesium tastes really great, as it does in the natural calm supplements, it's easy to get enough in. So with these two supplements, the first one, which is my particular favorite, are these gummies. And it's 4 of these gummies. You can see they're yay big. 4 of those gummies has 80% of your magnesium for the day, or 330 milligrams. And keep in mind that, oh goodness, it's magnesium citrate, and so that magnesium citrate is going to be easy to for your body to digest and absorb, but then also that is what does act as more of a, moves things along in the gut. And so if you have frequent bowel movements or very regular bowel movements, loose bowel movements, you probably want to start on this slower end and then ease your way up, just in case things get a little haywire. So these are in the Natural Vitality Calm magnesium supplements are in the raspberry lemon flavor is what I have here. That's my personal favorite. It has this nice sweet tart zing to it. It really is like my gummy, like my favorite candy basically before going to bed at night. It's something I really look forward to, and it's quite delicious. The gummies are also vegan, and so often gummies will have gelatin in them, but this one does not. So any vegans or people out there who are avoiding pork products, these gummies are a great choice to supplement, but also just to kind of get that gummy, like that candy sensation. So good. If you want to go more of the powder route, so my husband prefers the powder, and he says that for him it actually makes him relax more, and he thinks that it works better for him. I mean, to each their own. But in 2 teaspoons, which that's 2 of these little guys, there's also 80%, or again about 330 milligrams. Now this powder is a white powder, you can see here, and it smells slightly sweet, and then a little bit of that like raspberry lemon flavor. This one's raspberry lemon too. They have other flavors. These are just, again, our personal preferences and favorites. The powder is as well vegan and gluten-free, as are the gummies, and non-GMO. So it's a really easy way to supplement magnesium in a way that really tastes good. Now, if you're like, well, I already take a multivitamin, do I still need this? And the answer is probably so. And that's because magnesium is a giant mineral, and so it's not in multivitamins, as is calcium. There might be 10%, 2%, but nothing of substantial value, which is important to keep in mind, again, depending on what your overall intake is of magnesium. The other thing too is that magnesium has a lot of benefit for heart health, and so, heart disease is one of the top killers in America today, and sometimes, just by eating more magnesium, more potassium, blood pressures can get under control, and then again promoting just that overall heart health. So there's that. Also, if you suffer from cramps, like leg cramps at night, and you're like, well, I'm drinking the water, I'm eating the, the bananas, the potassium, whatever it might be, I find that a lot of times the leg cramps can be from magnesium and not so much potassium. And this is particularly true in a lot of athletes that I work with. And so if you're experiencing any kind of leg cramp, muscle cramp, again, thinking of magnesium being a muscle relaxer, if you don't have enough magnesium, that muscle can stay really tight, and that's causing the cramp. So sometimes those can happen in pregnancy as well. And again, magnesium, the supplementation is super easy to do. It's helpful, and it's also healthy, so it's not something that you have to worry about, having an adverse reaction. Other than if you take too much, you might have to go to the bathroom a little more often the next day, or your stools might be looser. But it is an easy to kind of course correct from there. So again, I'll put the link for these below. I highly recommend that you check them out. So the Natural Vitality Calm and the gummies is my personal preference, but again, my husband likes the powder. We have both in the house, so you can kind of try them out and see which one you think works better for you. I should say too that the gummies, some people give them to their children. Now, they have one gummy for ages 4 to 12 as the recommendation. So some people say that kind of helps with easing child sort of like rambunctiousness, which I'm sure he's not very rambunctious right now because he has a long way to go from there. He's still pretty baby. But that would be something that I cross as well. So if you're in that boat, be sure to check them out. And as always, like, subscribe, and thanks for tuning in.